Yeah, I tried to make the lyrics kind of bit, nudge, nudge, wink, wink ish on that song, you know.
Welcome to the channel, everybody. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time on the channel, hit subscribe right now. We are celebrating Canada Day all week on this channel, and today we're gonna highlight one of the up-and-coming Canadian power metal bands, Lycanthro.
Streets are lighting, blazing, red, the skies are hung in black. Kill the unholy messengers, never coming back.
So James, thank you so much for your time today. Today is an interesting day. We're recording this, well, not early in the morning, but still in the morning after you released your album yesterday, Mark of the Wolf. How bad is your headache right now?
Oh, very. Oh man, like let me tell you, like we hadn't released anything in like 3 years before this album, so I completely forgot how difficult it is to promote an album. And it's, as I said, I've been like ripping my hair out for like the past few weeks, but in a good way, honestly. Yeah. So you know. It's been really positive so far. I mean, because this album was very much like a labor of love. I always say in all of our social media posts and all that there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears involved, and there was, because it was a very long process, because this album we'd been recording or working on at least since like late 2018, but because of very many things that were beyond our control, it took this long to come out. Like we had lots of like issues, like our engineer had like a baby during production, so we had to stop for a while, and I had some vocal issues, so I couldn't record vocals for the longest time until I got better. And by the time I did get better, it was the pandemic, so I had to do a lot of them from home. Right. So I have like my own recording setup here, so I had to do a lot of that from here. Yeah. But the reaction has been incredible. It's been very overwhelming, and the support that we've gotten and all that. And it's been very reaffirming to see like that at least the people who know us, they haven't forgotten us, you know?
Awesome. Well, I mean, you say that the album has been in the works since 2018. In a way, maybe even longer, because some of the songs on the new album were featured on a demo from 2017, if I'm not mistaken. You released some singles in between. What made you go back to some of these older songs to include them on the new album?
When we released that demo, it was before we really knew anything. It was before we really knew how the industry worked. And I remember before we knew John, or we had like a PR team or whatever. I remember when we were promoting that demo, I used to just send it single-handedly to whatever review site I could find. Right. And the main criticism that we got from it was that the songs were good, but the production wasn't very good, which I agree, because that demo, I can't even listen to it now. But the thing is that we knew that some of these songs were good, like especially the lead single, Crucible, is the one song that live we refused to take off the set. That's the one song we play every show. So we realized that, okay, we need to have these songs, we have to give them the production that they deserve.
Going back to these older songs, working on the album for so long, that has definitely made the album, from a musical perspective, pretty varied. Is that variation in music, is that solely because of that? If you were to write a full new album today, do you think that would be a more uniform style, or is that because Lycanthro is still, with all the changes in the band as well, is that a sign of a band that is still discovering its identity? What do you think?
the way I look at it, it's actually neither of those, because one of the things that one of my biggest musical philosophies is, so just to preface this, the band that made me want to become a musician was Queen. Okay. And Queen, as you know, were very diverse in terms of music. And the thing that I always say is that Queen never wrote the same song twice, but they still sounded like Queen, right?
Right.
So I want to try and do the same with us, is that even though, you know, our main genre is power metal or old school heavy metal or whatever, I'm someone that I believe that in sort of musical diversity, because that was intentional in terms of that, because I'm someone that I want to try and kind of, with the next few releases and all that, kind of cultivate our identity as being, you know, we're a power metal band, but at the same time, we're Lycanthro. We don't have the same song twice. We want to be able to, because we have so many different influences, and we want to be able to draw from all of them without being restricted. So, you know, so the main goal for us is to be to sound like us, you know, to be a very diverse band while still keeping true and being under the power metal umbrella, as it were.
In the last song on the album, Evangelion, the beginning definitely is a nod to Creeping Death from Metallica, and then after that, we definitely feel some Dio vibes there. The greats have inspired you, or if I were to ask you who your biggest metal influences are those completely different bands?
Well, yeah, no, you're completely right. Like, for example, like that's like Iced Earth is one of the bands that we've been compared to a lot. Just in terms of, like, you know, the very thrashy kind of power metal, because, you know, that's because before Lycanthro was trying to focus and being mainly like pure power metal, we were very thrashy when we first started, because we were very much influenced by like Megadeth and Overkill and stuff like that. And I personally kind of wanted to, like, at least with new stuff that we haven't released yet, just trying to get away from that, just because, as I said, I want to, you know, I want to be different than that. But I still love that stuff, and on this album there's lots of influence from that. So Iced Earth definitely, and yeah, you were right on the money with Evangelion, because I found that song musically was very much like a Dio Last in Line era song. Or even like something like there's even a couple of like winks and nods in that song to like Rainbow. So yeah, so it's very much like inspired by the great power metal bands like Blind Guardian and Manowar and Stradivarius and stuff like that, while at the same time, you know, doing like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Saxon.
So, but to focus on Lycanthro for a bit, Lycanthro, obviously, for those people that don't know, or maybe non-native English speaking people, short for lycanthropy, basically the term for werewolves. We obviously have the album title and the album artwork as well. I know that you've shared that the name of the band comes from your fascination with wolves. Where does this fascination come from?
I don't know. I've always had an affinity for wolves. They're my favorite animal. I love wolves, and I will say this too, man. You're one of the very few people that I've talked to about this album who has actually gotten pronounced our name right. Because I always joke when I've been doing interviews to promote this album, I've always joked that I've heard 6 different pronunciations now. So it's been pretty hilarious to see like how people have pronounced it, but yeah, no, I guess it's just because I kind of thought that the reason why you know, I wanted to have the band's imagery be reminiscent of like werewolves, and specifically like as you've seen on the album cover, it's very much almost like an 80s horror film poster or something like that.
Right.
because I love old horror films, and I thought that that's a cool niche for us to have.
A cruel angel rises before you into your chapel of your memory.
So why, James, did you not release the album on a full moon's night?
I don't know. I should have thought of that. That would have been sweet.
Next time, next single.
Oh yeah, next time.
The band that we'll see on a stage is different than the band that recorded the album. So help me understand that. Help me understand how all these lineup changes have happened.
Yeah, well, so pretty much, so the lineup you hear on the album is our old lineup that we had it's probably the longest lineup we had, actually, and we're the ones that recorded the album back in late 2018, early 2019, and but what happened is that the it pretty much was just a string of bad luck, I guess. Like, for example, our old drummer Nathan Schumann, who's the one who recorded the drums on this album, he had a problem with his neck, because not only was he a drummer, but he had lots of his day job was pretty much like almost manual labor, so he was getting lots of issues with his neck, so he had to stop, so that's why he left. Carlo, our old bass player, wanted to do more of a heavier thing, like the death metal thing, and our old guitar player David, he wanted to do more. He wanted to do his own thing, because he's someone that he is very much like. He's very much someone who wants to be in charge of what he writes and be in charge of what he puts out. So, and because of that, we were always kind of like, arguing and stuff like that. So, like, whatever he does now, it's best of luck to him. He just didn't want to, neither of them just wanted to do what we're doing anymore, pretty much.
Yeah.
I pretty much spent the first 6 months of the pandemic just trying to find new guys. And the guys that I found, our new guitar player, Forrest Dussault, you can hear him on the album, actually, because he does a lot of the guitar solos on the first 5 songs. Some of the old guitar solos I felt just didn't cut it. So this guy, I got him because he's so talented. He's like, I like to tell people, he's like if Luca Turilli, Jeff Loomis, and Michael Schenker had an unholy baby, is like what I like to tell people.
I'm seeing images in my head that I do not want to see right now.
Down in our underforge, where the light meets the stone, joining our unknown order of life.
He was like this sort of prodigy, sort of bedroom guitarist. Like, he had never been in a band before, actually, but I thought this guy we'll teach him, because this guy is too good. We can't, waste him, so. And and our bass player Stu, we met him at he's the cook at this local bar here called the Coven, which is like the metalhead bar. It's where all the local metalheads go and hang out, and that's where he works as a cook. And I was there with my friend one day, and I see this big Viking-looking dude walk in with a Blind Guardian shirt, and I start chatting with him, and then I ask him, "Hey, do you play anything?" He goes, "Yeah, I play a bunch of different instruments." I'm like, "Can you play bass?" He's like, "Yeah, I play bass." I'm like, "Go on in." And he's a real master of many instruments, because he's someone that not only does he like metal, but he also plays, like, name a weird instrument, he probably has it. Like, his main instrument's mandolin. So it's like mandolin, sitar, glockenspiel, stuff like that. So, so our 2 new guys, and I've been great, and the chemistry has been great, and I feel like we have, I honestly feel closer with the lineup we have now than any other one that we've had.
did you already have fans that found every Easter egg in Metal We Trust?
Yeah, I tried to make the lyrics kind of bit, nudge, nudge, wink, wink-ish on that song, you know.
Okay, well, talking about the home of the working man, you're a Canadian band, obviously. What Canada has a often underground yet rich metal history. What is there any Canadian band specifically that for you stood out growing up?
My favorite Canadian band of all time is Triumph, actually.
Okay.
Is Triumph. Triumph, in my opinion, and I know all the Rush fans out there are going to crucify me when I say this, but to me, they're the greatest Canadian the greatest Canadian band of all time. And it's just because they're like, I even heard from people who are much older than me who have told me that there was a time when they were on the fast track, they were bigger than Rush at a time. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Triumph were they're a huge influence to us. They were very integral to my early years of music, because I pretty much in middle school I listened to them exclusively, and they're one of those bands, and you don't see a lot of these kinds of bands anymore, where they're very motivational and very their music got me through a lot of tough times of being a teenager, because all their songs, never surrender, fight the good fight, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They were so important to me also, and I find that. And just from musical side of things too, I also find they were kind of proto power metal. They were some of their stuff they did was very, very power metal before that was even a thing.
The gods of metal came, we all knew their names, in our hearts and souls, in our spirits made of steel.
And obviously, you mentioned Unleash the Archers. That's definitely another one. They definitely deserved that Juno win, absolutely. And we actually got to open for Unleash the Archers here in late 2018, I think. Yeah, and that was still to this day, I think, the best show I've ever played, because those guys are so great and they're so popular now that to the point where the venue that we played here in Ottawa where they opened for, it was called Mavericks. It's only maybe max a 300 person venue. I went outside, and I'd never seen, out of all the shows he played there, I've never seen a crowd actually line up around the block to see them. It was so cool, to the point where I was outside talking with the promoter, and, it wasn't the promoter, it was the assistant or whatever.
Sure.
He pulls out his phone, he goes, "Hey James, get the crowd to do something, because, because I've never seen this before." So he films it, he starts filming it, I go, "Hey guys, everyone, he's filming. Put your horns up!" And then it was so cool just to see all these people coming to see Unleash the Archers and all that stuff. And they're fantastic, and they're one of the best live bands, one of the best bands around today. And I can definitely see that they're going to be festival headliners, I think, in the future.
Again, congratulations on the release. I know that's a big thing, and I know that you had to work for a long time to get that album out. So congratulations, and congratulations to finding the new lineup. James, what should we keep our eyes open for? Is there anything that is coming our way in the near future?
Before COVID hit, we were supposed to go on our very first tour, actually. We were supposed to go out west because we got booked on the Hyperspace Metal Festival in Vancouver. And we're still on that, actually. The promoter will message all the bands every few months and reassure everybody, "Don't worry, I'm not kicking anybody off." So we're still on that, and we're gonna hopefully be able to tour around April-ish next year to do that. So there's definitely gonna be that. And we're always writing, we're always constantly doing stuff. We actually have a new EP that we're demoing right now. It's going to be sort of the recording debut of the new lineup, I guess. And we're going to keep doing all the at least for the next little while. We're on a bit of a 2-week hiatus at the moment, but we're going to keep doing all the Instagram live streams, and all that, and just keep, pushing out all the content for everybody as much as we can.
All right, well, James, enjoy the rest of your launch weekend. Hope that headache goes away slightly, but the more you celebrate the new album, maybe that headache will just increase. We'll find out. Everybody will follow you guys on the social channels. I want to thank you for your time this morning. I really appreciate it, and all the best of the rest of the release.
Thank you very much for having me, man. It's been a lot of fun, and as I told you before, I'm a big fan of your channel, so thank you very much for having me.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.